The movie kicks off with a captivating scene, a ferry cutting through the waves and a young man named William lost in thought while peering out the window. As the camera zooms in, his unique facial features become more apparent. We're then transported to a lecture hall where Professor Julian Reed is holding court on the subject of Neanderthals. Unfortunately, the professor's views on these ancient humans are far from enlightened. He portrays them as dim-witted and uncivilized, and cites the work of Francis Galton, who believed that appearance was a key indicator of intelligence and social status. It's a chilling reminder of how far we've come in our understanding of humanity. But then things take a dramatic turn when the professor reveals that William, the only non-fossilized Neanderthal specimen in the world, was found on campus by his boss, Dr. Godwin Thomas, and named after an Irish naturalist named William King. The professor concludes his talk with a mind-bending proposal: cloning William using his DNA. Enter Barbara Sullivan, a reproductive endocrinology expert who's intrigued by the possibilities. She meets with the professor later at a restaurant to discuss the feasibility of this extraordinary experiment. Cloning a Neanderthal is a daunting task, but definitely achievable, she assures him. Intrigued by his fascination with the project, he takes her to his lab where she sees carved stones from both Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. He explains that resurrecting their closest relative could reveal invaluable insights. With the university's green light, they dedicate years to bringing a Neanderthal back to life, triggering a heated ethical discussion on human cloning. Unfortunately, the project is ultimately cancelled by the university president, leaving Julian and Barbara heartbroken after their unwavering commitment. Despite this setback, Barbara is resolute. She proposes they proceed with the project against the university's decision. Julian is hesitant, wondering who will carry the embryo. However, Barbara is resolute, and vows to do it herself. The couple elopes to Nevada and in due time, Barbara gives birth to a healthy baby boy. Yet when the nurses lay eyes on the child, they are stunned by his appearance. As Julian and Barbara meet their son, William, for the first time, they are taken aback by his peculiar looks. Julian races back to the university to share the incredible news of the first-ever Neanderthal baby born in modern times with Bob, the university president. At first, Bob is angry with Julian for going behind his back, but then realizes that the university could benefit from the positive attention if they embrace the idea. A press conference is held a week later, where Julian proudly presents photos of the miraculous birth, and both Dr. Reed and Dr. Sullivan consider themselves proud fathers of the child. Fast forward to 18 years later, and William, the Neanderthal baby, is now a young man. Barbara drives him to a hidden house in the woods where he can live with Julian. As William explores his new home, he spots a Neanderthal stone on display, and Julian's new girlfriend, Sarah, introduces herself. They have dinner together, and Sarah remarks on William's hearty appetite. Julian explains that William requires 20% more calories than regular humans due to his Neanderthal DNA. After a satisfying dinner, Julian has a heartfelt conversation with his son, praising him for his inquisitive nature. Together with Sarah, Julian sets out to teach William English and broaden his understanding of the world. Although William struggles with humor and metaphors, Julian believes in his son's potential. During a lecture at the university, Julian discusses the public's harsh initial reaction to William's birth, where many were disappointed that he didn't live up to their expectations of a primitive Neanderthal. Julian explains that William is just as intelligent, if not more so, than human children. In fact, William's immune system is far more robust than other humans, which could hold promise for medical research. As the conversation progresses, it's revealed that Julian and Barbara's marriage fell apart because of their differing opinions about William's upbringing. Julian believed in strict protocols and treating William like a lab experiment, while Barbara saw the lab as a prison unsuitable for a human being.
I need to take care of my son.
He's not your son.
When Barbara takes custody of William, Julian makes a point to visit his son regularly to make sure he's adjusting to his new life. As time goes on, William finds himself the target of a group of teenage bullies while out riding his bike. However, he easily dispatches them with his incredible strength, which leads to a complaint from their parents. Barbara warns William to be careful with his power and not to use it recklessly. Intrigued by his own origins, William begins to research Neanderthals online and is disappointed to learn that they're often depicted as unintelligent and savage. One day while playing catch with his mother, William meets Ted Roper, Barbara's new boyfriend, sparking Julian's jealousy and driving a wedge between the former spouses. College life isn't easy for William, who struggles to adapt to human ways and accidentally breaks a pencil during a test. After the exam, a classmate named Judy asks him to come over and help her prepare for an upcoming opera play, but his friends remind him of their planned camping trip, leaving William with a difficult decision to make. William promises Judy that he will help her once he gets back from his camping trip with his classmates. On their trip, they meet two hippies who are amazed when they learn that William is a Neanderthal. One of the hippies curiously asks if William ever wishes to go back to his time, to which he replies with a resounding yes. When he returns to the university, William helps Judy memorize her lines for their upcoming performance in front of a live audience. After their play ends, they share a kiss, but things don't go as planned when William tries to take things further. At a meeting about William's cognitive struggles, Barbara and Julian discuss his future. Barbara suggests that he take a part-time job on the island, while Julian wants William to explore the world with him. The decision ultimately rests with William, who will soon turn 18. As William walks with his friends along the beach, they chat about their college applications and acceptances, including Judy's acceptance into Columbia University. In the meantime, Will's future hangs in the balance, and he's grappling with his parents over their plans for him. While Barbara isn't on board with Julian's idea of sending Will to university and back to his lab, Julian insists that Will's immune system could be the game-changer in helping millions of people. Eventually, Will agrees to attend university, but only if he earns his spot as a student. Julian is ecstatic and even suggests that Will move in with him to gear up for college application exams. Fast forward to the present, and Julian is disappointed by Will's lack of progress in his studies, resulting in him throwing Will's test paper in his face and storming out. To comfort Will, Sarah takes him for a calming walk in the woods, opening up about her own experience of having her future dictated by her parents. During their chat, they explore Will's passion for singing, and their walk takes an amorous turn after he plants a kiss on Sarah, which she eagerly returns. Later on, as Sarah places the flowers in a vase, Julian barges in and interrogates them about Will's lack of studying. As William holds onto the ancient stone passed down by his ancestors, he feels a sense of connection to his past. The next day, Sarah quietly drives him to take an important university entrance exam, but things quickly go awry when his pencil breaks twice. As he leaves the classroom, he's subjected to the harsh laughter of onlookers in the street. Seeking solace, William turns to Godwin, who takes him to see the perfectly preserved remains from which he was cloned. But as he examines them closely, William realizes that he doesn't belong in this time period. While William is grappling with this revelation, Sarah contacts Barbara to report his disappearance. Meanwhile, William sneaks into Julian's lecture, hoping for some answers.
You're a failure.
But things quickly turn violent as Julian tries to make amends with William, leading to a physical altercation that culminates in William attacking Julian with the very stone he held so dear. Students film and mock him, driving William to flee in fear. As Sarah and Barbara frantically search for him, the police begin patrolling the area. As Will exits the university, his heart races as he spots the police on his tail. Painful flashbacks of a traumatic childhood attack flood his mind. Sarah glimpses Will in the distance, but the police block her from reaching him. Will faces a fateful decision as he moves towards his ancestors in the afterlife. Despite Sarah's cries, the police surround Will's motionless body, presumably having shot him for not complying with their orders. In the aftermath, we witness Sarah at the Neanderthal excavation site, where William was originally cloned from, with a young child in her arms, potentially William's offspring.